Hey, what's up everyone? This is Silver Slayer. Welcome back for another video. Today we're talking about why I don't personally invest into silver ETFs. I stack the physical bullion of precious metals, and I'm going to explain why I don't. Now, with any investment, there is money to be made, but for me, the physical bullion, actual coins and bars makes a lot more sense than investing into something like an ETF or a stock, option market, etc. So I'm going to be explaining the reasons why people, I think, underestimate the value of the physical bullion and also explain my reasonings and opinions behind it. So before we jump into this video, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe if you already haven't. I do post daily videos on the precious metals world, so stay tuned for that. So I was reading an article the other day and it mentioned how 1% of silver investors actually buy the physical bullion. 99% of people are buying ETFs and stuff like that, which seemed really outrageous to me because the physical bullion is where all the real value is. Silver and gold has been deemed valuable for 6,000 years. Silver actually was deemed the same value as gold back in the Egyptian days, where they saw silver as a magical type of metal, the way it reacted with certain elements and how it purified water, and it was basically like this magical metal. And silver has always been seen as a valued measured, or a measured form of currency since the beginning of man. So the physical bullion, the physical metal content is really where silver's strong point is. If you're investing into ETFs, you're kind of missing the whole entire point of why silver has so much potential. The silver market from a paper standpoint compared to a physical bullion standpoint is much different. But I do want to go into anytime I question something, I always want to see the other side, the other side of it. So why would people invest into silver ETFs instead of the physical bullion? Well, I came up with a couple different, conclusions. One is security. A lot of people don't like storing wealth in their own house or wherever, because if they got robbed or whatever, they trust the banks, they trust the digital form on these exchanges more than themselves. And that does make sense to an extent, but it really there's many more excuses you could, or justifications you could go along that point. But another one is convenience. I think it is a lot more convenient for people to just, do everything online from their laptop and make sure the exchanges take care of all that stuff, as far, in regards to having to collect all the coins, having to store them, having to keep them in good condition, etc. Another one is the lack of knowledge. I definitely think this is a huge one. I think if people understood how beneficial, how useful, how undervalued the physical bullion is, I think a lot more people would step into that ballpark or into that genre. But I think right now a lot of people just see it as, something that goes along the lines of real estate or stocks and, all that. But it definitely doesn't. And that's why I like making the videos that I post talking about the beneficial properties, the physical bullion has. And also when you get these coins in person and when you hold them in your hands, that's a whole different feeling than buying some, stocks or buying some ETFs online. And by the way, ETF stands for exchange traded funds. It's basically the same thing as a stock, bonds, type of exchange. It's all digital. It's basically the same thing as like investing in the stock markets. So, this is a much different category, even though they both are considered silver. Us silver stackers have the actual metal in our possession. Another one I also want to talk about is I think it's more accepted to be in the stock side of things instead of owning physical precious metals, because I think a lot of people, when they say they stack silver and gold, it kind of brings along the stigma that you're going against the government. You're kind of taking your wealth into your own hands and you don't really trust the government, which is that's okay though. If you're a prepper or if you're just someone who wants to be prepared, and if you understand what's happening with our financial system or in the economy, then there's nothing wrong with that. You don't have to wear your tinfoil hat just to be a silver stacker. There's a lot of beneficial properties that come along with putting your wealth into something that has intrinsic value. And that's the whole thing. That's another thing I want to mention though, because ETFs miss the entire point of precious metals. Silver and gold have intrinsic value, which means that the coin itself has value, not the monetary value that's attached to it. The retail value, the spot price, has nothing to do with silver's value. It's the 1 ounce of silver inside each one of those coins which brings its actual value. The physical metal is where the real money is at. So I kind of want to just go along these lines to talk about what you guys think, because do you guys invest into ETFs or stocks? And if you do, what portion of that compared to your physical bullion is it? Is it a 50-50? Is it, 80% ETFs, 20%, physical? And why? I really am curious why people would, because 99% of people that invest in silver is from the paper stock, basically. And that's a huge percentage. If we could bring even like 5-10% over to precious metals, that could be huge for silver. And I really just want to figure out what indicators, what is the missing ingredient that people are falling short of that really lets them jump the gun or take that next step into precious metals. And I don't know if it's the security, I don't know if it's the lack of knowledge, I don't know if it's the stereotype that comes with it, or maybe they just don't want to learn about all the coins, or I don't know. But it's silver stacking, especially with precious metals, and the physical asset, the physical form, is so much more rewarding, because once you buy the coins and you receive them, you get to unbox the coins, you get to hold them in your hands, you get to look at the design. You're literally holding a piece of history, and that precious metal actually can be used in the physical, the materialistic world for so many different uses. When it's online, when it's all digital, it's literally just data. It's just on a cloud, basically. It's all internet, but that's missing the entire point. And I really do want to look into this. I do find beneficial properties in some stuff, like cryptocurrency, for instance, is all digital as well, but they're also creating things in cryptocurrency that's different. Cryptocurrency is a decentralized exchange, apart from a centralized banking control. The blockchain is all decentralized, which means everything's is publicized on a public database for everyone to see, so nothing can go on shady behind the scenes. Now, there's also obviously a lot of room to grow with cryptocurrency, because it's far from perfect, but at least it is something that's taking the power out of the central banks, the central government that's in control of everything. We see so many shady things happening with JP Morgan, Merrill Lynch, everywhere, that I think is really hurting the economy, in not only a financial standpoint, but as a whole. As we come together, silver stacking brings people together. If you don't believe me, look at the silver stacking community on YouTube. I made a point the other day that the silver stacking community is fairly small, and someone actually emailed me that was watching my video, and it was a nice email. He was saying how he loves my videos, but he was like, I do want to attest to you and say that the stacking community on YouTube is actually much bigger than you realize. It's just a lot of us just don't talk about it or don't share. We just watch the videos. And I was like, you know what? That's a good point, because the amount of support my videos get and other channels on YouTube that I see, it actually is much bigger if you actually think about it. How many views I get a day and how many subscribers some of these channels get. Like a lot of people are aware of silver and gold and precious metals. They just don't talk about it. They don't have channels like I do that teach people and talk about it and share openly. They just watch, on their own, which is perfectly fine. I respect everyone, and as long as you're buying silver, you're a friend in my eyes. But I do want to, talk about that, because sometimes it is really easy to kind of minimalize how small something is, but really a lot more people are aware. There's also the people that do kind of want to get in the water of precious metals, but they don't have the time really to or the money, or the resources to do it to the extent that some of us do. So this is my passion, and it always has been. So I really jump into it more than most people. A lot of people, it's like, oh yeah, I know that American Eagles are, and they know about constitutional silver. They might buy some every once in a while, but they don't really read up on it. And then there's the silver stackers that are full blown into it, that read up on articles every day, and it's almost like an addiction to some extent. So there is different levels of it as well. But anyways, I do just want to ask you guys what you thought about this category. I really don't. I'm not too fond of the ETFs. I do see money to be made in everything though, so don't take it as like I'm saying that silver is going to make you more money, the physical asset. I just think there's more potential and there's more beneficial factors and usefulness in the physical bullion compared to just the ETFs online. But anyways, I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, make sure to smash that like button. Subscribe if you already haven't. I post daily videos. I'll probably post another video today, so stay tuned for that as well. Thanks for tuning in. This was Silver Slayer. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.